Hi, everybody. This is Jason.
This is Pete.
And this is the Lost Leisures podcast. And what are we doing today?
We're here to talk about heavy transports.
Heavy transport. Cool.
Yeah. So back in our series of reviewing all of the little detachment options, heavy transports being your Spartans and your big drop pods and all that sort of stuff. Interesting choices here. So let's.
And we're getting through this. We're getting almost done with this.
I know
really cool.
It's been a journey. Can I use that word, journey? I hate that, but yeah, it has been a podcasting journey.
Time.
Anyway, so into the heavy transports. So they are found, as you would likely by now assume to have known, via the auxiliary detachments option. They are part of the Armored Fist, which gives you 8 vehicle options, 4 being light transports, which we've covered on a previous video, and 4 being the heavy transports, indicated by the little pictures here. So it's worth noting you can get these in other places as well, so I'm confident that the Champions little mini detachment has an option for one. There'll be I think it gives you just one, yeah. Yeah, there'll be other options. You can obviously logistical benefit them in, but if you need to take, like, I need 2, 3, or more, then this is going to be something you need to consider for sure. So jumping into it then, Jay, do you want to take the first one, or the Humble Land Raider carrier?
Yeah. So this one might be one of my favorites, actually. I think points-wise, it's 265 points. It's got 14 all around, 8 hull points, a capacity of 12. So that is all pretty good. I mean, so you can fit a full 10-man squad in there, and then your characters, which is really good. Or a 5-man Terminator squad and the characters, or 1 character and Terminator armor.
Yep.
Which is good. It comes with 2 las cannons. I think the problem with this is they're not stable. So if you're moving, they're only doing 1 damage. I personally feel like it should come with stable, but I think that's for a different episode. As called, why is the Kratos the only tank with stable? That's what that episode's called.
It's very sure of itself. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. It has a hull-mounted twin heavy bolter, and I'll get back to this because I want to talk to you when we talk about upgrades. Auto repair 5 up. It's an assault vehicle, so you can run out of it and charge, no problem, which is really good. The trait has a smokescreen trait, as well as the Allegiance and Legion of Astartes things. It could take a pencil weapon. If you skip to the very last slide really quick, we can see the pencil weapon heavy weapon. So here you go. Here's the list. We won't refer back to it for every one. We'll just say they have pencil mounted options. You can look them up in your book. But again, right now the hotness is the Havoc launcher for 5 points.
Sadly, I think the combi options are quite lackluster, considering how often you get to shoot in the game. You know,
I think besides the pencil mounted combi bolter, they're all very lackluster for 10 points.
Yes, sorry, that's a very good point. So the combi bolter, I think, is worthwhile actually in certain options. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're better off looking. I think the main ones really are. The Havoc launcher is probably too cheap for what it does. The heavy flamer is priced well because obviously it's hard to get that off, but it is great when you do get it off. And the multi-melter is one of those ones. It could be the best 25 points you ever buy. It could be irrelevant for 5 games in a row. So it's almost better at what it doesn't do in just making your opponent think twice. There is a multi-melter on that.
Maybe controversially, I would say I think multi-meltas are fine. I think they're just overpriced now because they don't have the bonus armor pen, right? So you're not like, a Land Raider, mahaha, I will wipe you. Like, you have to still roll a 6 now to get through that Land Raider. So like they're good. They do a lot of damage, but the fact that they don't penetrate armor now as much makes them, in my opinion, overpriced.
Because you only get the armor bane at melter range, don't you, with the multi-melter? So the melter rule is you gain armor bane at that range. So
you don't even, but you. Oh yeah, so you have to roll you still have to roll a 6 to pen.
Yeah, but you don't even. You don't. So the armor bane rule is you count glances as pens, right? But you only gain that at the melter range, and I think the melter range I think is 10 inches off the top of my head. It's not 12 anymore.
Oh, so
it's even worse.
So it's even worse than I'm saying. Yeah. So even yes. So, but again, like if these were less points, if this was 10 points, maybe 15 points, it would be an option that I would be worth considering.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the problem I find with Melta in general. I think it's better now for killing Terminators than it is for killing heavy vehicles. And I think there's plenty of stuff that's good at killing light vehicles. So sorry, this is a sidetrack, but yeah, I mean,
but it's important. It all, and you have to think about how you're using these vehicles, and the Land Raider in particular, you're hurtling that thing forwards more often than not to drop off your troops to something. I have used a pintle mounted multi-melter in my last few games on my what are they called? My the little demolisher cannon tanks. What are they called? Vindicators.
Okay.
And actually driving that thing forward and then just spitting a multi-melter off at a different target that's within 10 inches, like another rhino or something, it has been quite useful to just go, okay, it needs to split fire. So having it again on a Land Raider doing a similar thing, just going, right, that little tank there needs to take that, or that Dreadnought there needs to take 4 wounds or whatever, can be quite useful. So I think there is still a place for it. The thing is if you're split firing, you're snap firing everything other than your sponsor and weapons and that weapon. So then it's just your whole weapon on the Land Raider, which would then be snap firing. But again, if that's a las, it's not too much of a big deal, I guess. If it's heavy bow, it's not too much of a big deal.
I know. I think that's a good shout, especially from the actual use. I think it's still 10 points too expensive. Basically,
agree. Yeah. So we were here, weren't we? So yes, carry on then.
So Land Raider carrier. Sorry, before we got all distracted by the pencil weapon. So upgrade heavy bolter for free or the twin las cannon, and this is what I actually thought was going to be our discussion. I don't really like upgrading to the las cannon anymore. In 2.0, I thought it was amazing. Now you're moving forward, and the way that Sponson's weapons work, that they can fire at anything or return fire and splitting fire, unless you're firing every las cannon at the same target, probably a tank, right? Then it's not really worth it. If you have the heavy bolter, though, you can fire those las cannons at anything and not really care, and the heavy bolter can just target some troops. And I feel like the heavy bolter is a viable option now. I'm not saying that the las cannons are bad, but they were an auto include for me in 2.0. I think in 3.0, I think going cheap and cheerful and keeping the heavy bolters is actually not a bad idea. And this is how I'm planning on running all of mine. I've proxied, well, with the Space Wolves, I don't have to because they were 1.0 Spartans. They all, and a 1.0 Land Raider, so they all had the heavy bolters because there was no las cannon option. And running those, I'm like, oh, I like this better. This works out better for me. So what do you think?
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think the one benefit of having that twin las cannon, and this was used against me at a previous event, was my opponent had the first turn. I had some tarantulas, and I had quite a close range death box sort of setup. Mm-hmm. And he went, well, I'm not gonna, if I drive forward, I can't assault you because I'm out of assault range and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to sit still. So his 2 Land Raiders with twin las cannons on all las cannon points, on all weapon points, took out both of my Vindicators turn 1 because they all went up to damage still, 2. Right? Yeah, exactly. But what I'm getting at is he opted to do that, and then he had 6 damage las cannon shot. If that makes sense, a total pool of 6 damage. So situationally, it was very useful. But I think you're right. For probably 8 times out of 10, you're going to be driving the Land Raider forward. You're not going to probably be sitting back with it. I'm
not even saying that this is like better or worse. What I'm saying is it's now viable. Like, I think you are not crazy.
The heavy bolters,
upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The las cannon is no longer as good as it is as it was all of the time. So therefore, the heavy bolter seems more reasonable.
I think
heavy flamer. We should
go ahead.
Touch on the heavy flamer.
So my problem with this one is that it's in the front, and this is where you tend to drop off your troops.
Yeah. I agree.
So I feel like it's kind of in the way. I feel like afterwards it's going to be fine. They can always run out the side and you can flame something, but that's a little awkward to set up your charge. I mean, your mileage may vary on this.
I think you just pay for a Pintle Heavy Flame if you really want it in that instance. You got the flexibility of where you can throw the flame template.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. We can return to this conversation a little bit in the Spartan, because I feel like the Spartan might have a different conversation. But yeah, this is the Land Raider. I really like it, this edition. I think it's really good. The 8 hull points, I think, are pretty strong. 5-up auto repair is great for the way statuses work.
Absolutely.
Not as good as a Spartan. We'll see in a second. But yeah, I give this an A definitely in categories for transports.
Yeah, I'd say it's a staple for sure. The assault vehicle role as well over a Rhino is still pretty good. Having the setup move distance. So yeah.
If anything, I would just give this thing stable. That would be the one thing that I would change.
Yeah, fair enough. Moving on. The Spartan. So so this chappy, I've not actually used one yet. I've played against a few.
Oh, oops, sorry, go ahead.
You all right?
Yeah.
So the Spartan is 14 all round, movement 10, just like the Land Raider. Hull points 10, so 2 more over the Land Raider, and a massive capacity of 26. So you can fit everyone in, the boy band, the supporting acts, the groupies, most of the crowd. Everyone is getting in that Spartan when it needs to.
Including your mom.
Including your mom.
Or your mom. Yeah. 25 for everyone else, plus your mom to support you.
You've got 2 sponsor-mounted las cannon arrays, which I believe are 3 damage las cannons.
Yeah. So
and they're always 3 damage? Or are they heavy? Are they like 2 heavy 3?
I have my
Whilst Jay's checking that out, you've got the whole front twin heavy bolter, just like before with the Land Raider, and you've got the same upgrade options on that heavy bolter to a heavy flamer for 3 or twin las cannon for 10 points.
3 damage, strength 9, armor bane. Really, really good.
No heavy. It doesn't go up a damage.
No,
it's just 3 damage. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so you're getting 4 shots that are 3 damage. I think the difference, I guess I'm just going to jump into this conversation right now.
Yeah.
The difference between this and the laser destroyers is the laser destroyers are heavy D. So if you don't move, they become 4 damage. And they're range strength 10. But they're also 36 inches versus the las cannon arrays 48 inches. And I say it's a bit of a toss up, but I lean on because of the way the tank works and what it's for, I would lean on the las cannon arrays because they're longer range. They're always going to be 6 damage. Like they're always going to be 3 damage each, 6 per side. And you can fire that while moving, even though they're less strength. My 2 cents. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're right. Out of the 2 anti-tank options, the las cannon is probably... So they're 2 shots each, 3 damage? Is that how each sponson works?
Yeah, it's 2 sponson mounted las cannon arrays. So
yeah. So that's pretty cool. You do also have the option of the Gravis bolt cannon thing. What's it called? The bolt one.
Gravis. I think it's just Gravis bolt cannon. It is. I'll look up while you're doing that how many shots it is. I mean, I don't think it's worth it.
I don't think it's a shame. It's a shame that it doesn't come with those for free, and I appreciate why it doesn't, because the kit doesn't come with them. And then you'd pay to upgrade to the last cannon, because I kind of like the idea of these, like just like you're assaulting an infantry line, you're just pinning and suppressing this infantry line or whatever, or suppress this infantry line as much as possible. It's very cool, very thematic.
The Spartan should be like 390 points, and then it should be plus 10 for the other ones or something.
Something like that. Yeah, there should be an upgrade to it for sure. But
those are 8 shots, strength 5, right?
Damage,
and suppressive 2,
and they're damage 1, aren't they? I think. Those ones.
Yeah. They're not, I mean, it's not bad, but like, do you like the las cannon array is so good? There's just no choice. Like I wouldn't want it. It would have to be significantly cheaper for me to want that, if that makes sense. Or maybe I'm an Imperial Fist or something where I have special bonuses for it.
So you're doing free damage, 2 shots at 3 damage. You're probably only killing 2 Marines anyway, with the heavy bolters at max, by the time you've gone through wounds, armor saves, all that sort of stuff. The difference is it does put out the status. So it depends if you want to have the suppressed effect, I guess. So anyway, carrying on. Then you've got all the pintle weapons that we spoke about. We didn't mention it, but on these vehicles, you could do hunter killers for 5 points a model and searchlights for 5 points. Searchlights, waste of time. Never take them. Worst thing ever.
I will give a slight argument for searchlight.
What?
It depends what it is, right? Like, so if you have your big one-shot, heavy, tough tank, maybe you do want a searchlight because you don't want them shrouding against you. So just FYI for anyone who doesn't know, searchlights ignore shroud, so they can't like use smoke against you, but you can never declare shroud.
Not quite. So it reduces their shroud by 1.
Oh, by 1.
So they still get the smoke screen at a 6 up.
But you can never.
But you can never shroud.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's situational. You are right. There are some certain weapon loadouts where it doesn't matter if you're being shot at.
Like your big tank, the Shadow Sword. Like I wouldn't think you're crazy for taking a searchlight on the Shadow Sword, right?
I don't think it can do, but yes, if you've got a tank that you're always going to return fire with, like a Volkite Pred, like a tank that has a defensive turret weapon or something, and you're very rarely going to opt to do the smoke screen, then I can see the point of it. But equally, you're then not attacking other tanks that are going to smoke screen in return because you're being hit by like strength 6 weaponry. Anyway, they're situational, I think. For 5 points, it doesn't matter.
I agree.
But you're removing your ability to react, basically.
This is the problem.
Yeah. And Hunter Killers, I think they're worth it. For 5 points, they're 10 points on the Rhinos, just worth as a little side note, but they seem to be 5 points on everything else. They're too much on the Rhinos because you lose the Rhinos quickly compared to the other tanks. But for 5 points, to have a strength 9, damage 3, armor bane shot just downrange is super useful. How we've all played enough games now, I'm sure, to be so annoyed when you've just opened up with your las cannon array Spartan and the enemy Spartan is just left on like 2 hull points, like shrugging along. You're like, I could just do with 1 more gun on this thing to take it out. That's where your hunter killer comes in. So I think it's worth it. Auto repair 4+, as you mentioned earlier, dude. That's actually... I never really thought... Okay, so here's the question. Is the Spartan worth the 140 points over the Land Raider?
This is where I think the real debate begins. It depends on how you're running your army. Because, I mean, I've talked before about how I think that 2 Land Raiders with 2 little mini Death Stars might be more effective nowadays with the way status works. However, like, there's no denying the Spartan has much more killy power than the Land Raider. It's just, however, these are transports. So you're going to want them to get your big guys forward. So are you going to want to sit there and not move and fire your las cannon? What are they called? The laser destroyers? No. So this is why I like the arrays better. The arrays are always 3 damage, so they're way better than the Land Raiders' las cannons. But your primary objective, in my opinion, with this unit is to get your troops forward. So,
and it's whichever egg cracks first, isn't it? With the transport off, if that makes sense. So a Spartan can with 1 round of shooting one shot a Land Raider, but a Land Raider cannot. I mean, okay, if you do hunter killers and maybe a pintle mounted multi-melter, yes. But if you're just looking at core weapons without the little pintle and add-on bits and bobs, a Land Raider cannot take out a Spartan in one go if they're both moving forward, right? Whereas the Spartan could. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Well, you're saying if they have the twin las cannon upgrade plus the arrays.
Yeah, if you're a Land Raider carrier and you're moving forwards, your las cannons have gone down to 1 damage each, but they've got 2 shots each. So at maximum, you've got 6 damage if you upgrade the hull.
Yeah.
So then you're also needing to do the hunter killer, and that's only 3 points, and you're needing maybe a multi-melter. So there is that you could potentially move the Land Raider forward and still take out a Spartan, but it's super unlikely. As opposed to Spartan has potentially 12 damage, regardless if it's moving or not, off of those las cannon arrays.
But you're talking about it's 160
points more. 140 points more.
145 points, I think. Yeah.
Is it 265? Yeah, 265. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, a 135 difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're good, right? They're really good. So I still think the Spartans are good. I think because they don't have the flare shield option anymore, and the flare shield doesn't even do the same thing. I think we talked about
it's different now. I think it removes armor bane.
I think it ignores. Yeah, I was gonna say. So it doesn't really matter. I feel like they should have just thrown the flare shield in anyway at that point.
Auto repair 4 up is also pretty decent.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's auto include. I think it depends on your army and what you're trying to do now.
Yep.
Like, so if you really do want to deliver that big Death Star, this is your boy, right? Like this thing, it's 400 points, but at that point you're locked into 800 to 1,000 points of dudes and thing and transport in one unit. So like your eggs are all in one basket and status. Oh my god, I can't speak right now. Statuses are a thing.
Brain's confusing too much. The Spartan Land Raider.
Seriously, I'm like looking at my cat, like thinking about taking a drink of my drink. So yes, I like them. I think they're worth it. I feel like they've come down a little bit in my auto take sort of pantheon, of what I would normally take. But again, I guess that's not bad, because I feel like Land Raiders and Spartans are more interchangeable for what you're trying to do. And they're all armor 14. I mean, again, the hull points are only 10 and not like 16. So it's not like 2 Land Raiders in a trench coat. It is not very much tougher than a Land Raider. So I don't know. What do you think? Any final thoughts on that sort of argument?
I think it's worth it. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think. I think even like there's so much to it now, isn't there? Even the return fire ability, then again, of a Spartan is so much more threatening than the return fire of a Land Raider. Because you're like, all right, that Dreadnought's going to open up on that Spartan here. Have 12 damage coming at you potentially, right? It's quite crazy. So
you think of it this way, though. I just want to interrupt you on this, because a lot of times the way that the sponsons work now, you only get one arc on
you need to be perfect. Yeah, you need to be perfectly lined up for it. Yeah, to be fair, you're quite right. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think less points is always better in a weird way. So you are right. You can nearly get 2 Land. Well, you get 1.5 Land Raiders. So if you're taking 2 Spartans, you're getting 3 Land Raider carriers, right? That's the math. So it's 3 Land Raider carriers versus 2 Spartans. When you say it like that, I'd rather the 2 Spartans. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on your list. As Jade says, it really does depend on your list. I think the trap might be to like lean too heavily into 2 or more Spartans, and then you've put a lot of your eggs in one basket. And if someone's got the perfect counter for them, game over.
Yeah, I ran 2 Spartans against Will and 2 Spartans and a Land Raider, and the Spartans just got trashed like super quickly. They're just not much tougher than a Land Raider. That's the problem. They're much more deadly, but they're not much tougher, and they're a lot more points. So sorry, I remembered that because you said if you're running 2 Spartans. I think they're good, though. I think they're really good. And again, it depends on your list. If you want to run that big bus of Terminators, this is your guy, right? Yeah. And I think you're doing the right thing. I don't know if I would take what I did, because I did like the longboats list and just had like 20 dudes in each one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd run that again, right? Like I don't really think it's worth it to do that. But it depends on your list. But I think for delivering a huge Death Star, like one big hard-hitting Death Star, I think this guy is your boy. I think it's good.
Moving on. Let us know what you think, guys, because we're going back and forth for that bit. So let us know what you think. Does he still have a place? Do you prefer the Land Raider? Drop it in the comments. Where are we? Next one. The Dreadnought Drop Pod. Take it away, Jay.
All right. This is me. All right, this is where it's going to speed up a little bit. This one is BS2. Why? It doesn't even have a gun.
Cool.
I don't even know why. Cool.
Hell's abuse on 5s. Yeah, go for it.
5 hull points, capacity 7. This is the important part. The rules are Dreadnought Transport, Orbital Assault Vehicle, and Impact Reactive Doors. The other two we've talked about a few times. I think the TLDR summary of them, holler if I'm forgetting anything, is Orbital Assault Vehicle means it gets Deep Strike, and it comes in with the Deep Strike rules. Impact Reactive Doors mean that they get booted out when it lands.
Yeah.
The access points are all around, and you ignore the pedals. That's the other thing. It's a transport vehicle, and it can transport a Dreadnought up to bulky 7, which I believe, off the top of my head, is a Leviathan, because another one is bulky 6.
Yes.
So I think that this could basically take a Leviathan. It's 100 points. I don't think it's a bad way if you want a combat Leviathan to hit the ground to get him there, because they are so slow, as we had found. Like, they can be almost useless, even if you want that storm like cannon one.
Yeah, they're not as good as they used to be, that's for sure. Yeah, I completely agree. Even a close combat one, or even a just double melter gun one, and you come down, slag a Kratos or a super heavy or something, and then your opponent kind of has to deal with you because they got a Leviathan in their backline, right? So
or the grab one too might actually be interesting.
Yeah. I think you're right. The biggest drawback of the Leviathan is getting it there. So this is then the way to do it. However, you're then making it like a 350, 400 point like drop unit.
That's coming down turn 2.
Yep. Which if it doesn't perform, you've got issues then, right? So if it fluffs its shots, it can't assault the turn it comes down because it's not an assault vehicle, which is why I lean maybe towards a shooty one. Because if not, if you drop it down turn 2, you're not getting assault till turn 3. You get two charges out of it at max over the course of a game. It's almost a bit pointless. I think you'd be good with a regular Contemptor for doing exactly the same as what we've just discussed. Maybe not so much the shooty side of things. But for 150 points or whatever a combat Contemptor is, you don't care as much if it's only going to do 1 or 2 combats, because if it chomps to death a tactical squad on objective and then murders a Sakaran in the back line turn 4 or whatever, then all right, that's cool. That's done well for what it needed to do. I think the problem is, the main thing with the things like this is you're getting very limited use of your models, like just physically enjoying playing with them. That's why flyers I really enjoy the flyer rules, but you just don't get to use them that much, right? You don't actually get to play with your dollies, and that's half of the game, obviously.
We can get onto this because there are other transports, and I'll get into my critique of flyers at that point. But yeah, I think I'm totally with you on this.
Perfect.
Oh, and whoops, access points on all facings.
Oh, right, yeah. I wonder what you're doing. Moving on. Dreadclaw drop pod.
I think this one's you. I think the last one was me. Go for it.
So movement 15, BS4. Again, no guns, right? So interesting. 12 all round, 5 hull points, 12 capacity. So this can have a walker with bulky 6, so you could chuck a Contemptor in this, or a little stompy box knot. And it's a flyer instead, so it doesn't drop down like a drop pod anymore. Is that right?
No, it flies on turn 1. So or can.
It can fly on turn 1.
I think this is considerably better than the Dreadnought drop pod.
Yes, yeah, especially if you want to do a Contemptor rather than a Leviathan, then yeah, you've got the options. It's not an assault vehicle though, is it?
No.
Okay. Right.
I double checked because I was actually wondering. I was like, what?
Yeah, that kind of sucks that it's not an assault vehicle. So it moves on 15. Your unit can hop out, or they can sit in there. Oh no, because it flies off. But it can fly on from any table edge turn 2 onwards. That's right, isn't it? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
With flyers? I've not used them yet.
It flies on from your table edge, but I think that includes like your the bits that go up. So like the 12-inch in the normal deployment, they can fly on from anywhere there.
Yeah, the zone.
It gets pretty far.
Yeah.
Will did this against me with the Contemptor, and then he got out, and then next turn he charged me.
Okay.
So
yeah, interesting. Not a lot more to add to that.
no, it's decent. I think this is better than the Dreadnought drop pod. For 15 points more, they come in earlier. If you don't want a Leviathan, I think that this is the way to do it. I think Dreadclaw drop pods are the best flying transport option in the game right now, to be honest. Also, there is the possibility they fly off. So it comes in turn 1, drops off the dude, flies off. Turn 2, it flies on, picks up another unit, and then flies off.
Yeah.
And then turn 3, it drops that unit off somewhere else. So it possibly you could get a lot of use out of this for 115 points. So I think if you want a flying transport, this is your boy. This is the one you take. There's no firewake thing anymore, which kind of sucks. There's no guns on this guy. But as we will get to at the Caestus Assault Ram, there are issues with that anyway. So I think that this is your flying transport.
Okay.
My 2 cents. This is my A for flying transports.
Cool. Moving on. The Kharybdis Assault Claw. I used to love this guy back in first edition. Oh.
So the Kharybdis is nearly the same, except as the Dreadclaw, but it comes with a gun, and it can take a Leviathan. It has bulky 7. Almost the exact same thing. The troop capacity is 22, so if you did want to put a lot of Terminators or troops in this, you could, like a full Terminator squad. This is how, with a character, this is how you have them come down. The 235 points, though, is a lot of points. It is not, I think, out of control. I think it's usable. I'll double check really quick, Pete, while you give your opinion about the gun.
I just checked the gun. So
okay, good.
Yeah, so it's pinning 5 shots, like an anti-infantry type thing. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You're not taking it for the gun though, right? It's just it's got a gun. It used to be able to target loads of different units, and I don't think it can from what I just briefly read. So it's
it used
kind
to
of
do
worse.
everyone
It used to pin everyone. Yeah, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't look like it does that anymore. Yeah, I think this is fine. For all the reasons we just said about the Dreadclaw, but it's extra points, and it's a beast of a model as well. So taking it around to events and things is a pain in the ass.
It's like a resin basketball with
spikes. Yeah, it's pretty. It's cool as hell though, right?
I give this a B plus maybe, and it's totally usable. It's totally good depending on your list. I think you have better options, but like, I think it's okay. It has the gun, right? Yeah. So it can use the gun while it's flying, because the gun, I think, is a defensive weapon. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't put a Leviathan in it. I think at that point I would just do a Dreadnought drop pod. Like, it's too expensive for a turn 1 Leviathan. Like, you're just spending all the points to get that boy on the table.
Yeah. Cool. The Land Raider Achilles. So this guy's interesting, isn't he? So he has movement 10, BS4, 14 all round, hull points 10, and then capacity 6. So he's like a mini Spartan. Very low capacity though. So he's hardly transporting anything. 2 Spartan mounted twin multi-melters is pretty cool. If you're driving it forward, for like as we explained earlier. The whole front mounted quad launcher. So I looked at this because I was had my quad launchers with the Siegebreaker stuff, and it doesn't look like the Siegebreaker gets to upgrade this guy to have Phosphex.
I was going to ask you this question. I thought the exact same thing, because all the Phosphex upgrades are on the the model. Yeah, and then you need the Siegebreaker to unlock
so this guy can't get them. He can change his multi-melters for Volkite Culverins. Is it twin Volkite Culverins, or is it just Volkite Culverins? It doesn't matter too much. But I mean, you would probably, if it's twin Volkites, I think it's just an extra shot, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's not the hugest difference. The the point here is which way you're leaning. Are you going to go anti-troop with the quad launcher and Volkites, or are you going to try and use shatter shells on the quad launcher with the multi-melters, maybe for like anti-tank or something, or maybe a bit of both? I don't know. I don't know if I'd upgrade. Would you replace your multi-melters for Volkite culverins? I don't know.
It depends if you're just all fighting troops. But again, like multi-melters don't crush anything that's not a like light vehicle basically now. So
they're 2 shots each side. So you know you're arguably getting
4 shots.
So you could just 4 shots, but you still need in a roll 6s against a Land Raider to do anything from at max 4 dice. So it's unlikely to happen. I don't think this guy is worth it. To be quite honest with you, I think it's a waste of time. It's got all the other bits: auto repair, hunt killers, searchlights,
twin Volkite culverins, by the way.
Twin Volkite culverins. Cool, thanks. The capacity is actually a huge kick in the teeth. It used to be, I swear it used to be better. I swear it used to be like resistant to melter or something, and like had a lot more other options on it.
I'm with you on this guy though. I want him to be a little bit better. I think it's an interesting option. I think the model's really cool. I don't love it as well. I don't think it's unusable. I'll give it a C, like as a grade. I don't know why I'm grading stuff this time around, but like
I don't know.
It's got to pass. If you have the model, if you have the model, I think it's usable.
Yeah.
If you don't have the model, don't go buy it. Like unless you're in love with the model.
It looks cool. It's a cool looking model, but it's capacity of 6. I get why it's restricted because it's got a massive quad launcher in the front.
It's not an assault vehicle either. So and you bail at the sides. So
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird tank. It's a way of getting. It's almost like getting a tank in on your transport options because like it's basically just a regular tank at this point with a very minimal capacity that you can't assault out of. So it's like you're not really going to be using it for the transporting of dudes, really. Yeah. Interesting.
Throw your master of signals in there. So he just hides in the back while you just sit there quad launching.
Yeah. They just put one Saturnine Praetor in there. Just sat there going, yes.
So like when they come up to the vehicle, it leads to the side and he like squeezes out. Yeah. He's like, you said what, little man?
Yeah, exactly with his
big hammer.
Yeah, exactly that. And then the last but not least, or maybe least, is the Caestus Assault Ram. Tell us, man. Jay. Tell us why this is so.
I have
last year. Yeah.
And it has been terrible for forever since 1.0. Like it was terrible in 2.0. I'm not finished putting it together. I think it's all put together. The wings are even magnetized. I have not painted it. I just haven't written a list where it fits. I mean, I guess I should. The problem is okay, hold on, let's go through the stats. It's 18 movement, 4 BS, 14 in the front, which is great, 13 on the side, which is good, 11 in the rear, which is fine, 7 hull points, 16 capacity. The capacity's gone back and forth a few times over the additions with different rules. I think 16 capacity is fine. You can take 8 Terminators. Good enough. It's decent. I don't understand why the Storm Raven or the Storm Eagle has even more, but whatever. So it comes with the centerline Magnum Melta Cannon, which I think is actually fairly good. Is it this one, the 9 strength ones? I'm looking at it right now.
Is it 3 shots or is this the blast one?
It used to have a blast. I'm just getting it up right now so we can go through it. But I want to talk about it because of so Melted Blast Gun, 36 inches, strength 9, 2 shots, damage 4. Sounds really good, right? We'll get to that.
One shot, Jay. One shot. Magnum Melta Cannon, yeah? Yeah, 1 shot.
Is that the Melted Blast? Sorry, my bad, guys. Magnum Melta Cannon. I was reading the wrong entry. 36 inches, 1 shot, strength 9, AP 2, 4 damage. Okay, almost the same.
Yeah.
But still good. I'll get to the problem in a second. So 2 centerline Cyclone missile launchers. which again I think can shoot
two
frag
shot
and
missile
crack.
launchers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But again, I'll get to the problem with this. It's a flying transport. So I had this problem with my Storm Eagle. I was really hyped on them. It flew in. I blew up Pete's Leviathan or something. This is when we were definitely like still learning the rules.
Yeah.
Dropped off my troops. When Pete was like, "Oh my god, these things are amazing," and I was like, "These things are amazing," and then we realized, oh, if you're on the landing mission when you're dropping people off, you can't fire your guns unless they're defensive weapons.
Yes.
So this thing comes in, it can't fire its Centerland Magnum Melta Cannon if we want to use it as a transport. I guess it can fire frag missiles from the Cyclone missile launchers, but it can't fire the Strength 8 ones. Or was it Strength 9 now? I don't remember.
So it can still Strength 8, yeah. It could fire the frags, you're quite right. But it can't fire that or the anti-air ones as well, the flak missiles. It can't fire those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. And it gets worse because flyers aren't stable. So, like, you're never, ever going to be able to use any of the heavy effects on any of these weapons. So your melter will only ever be Strength 9, and your missile launchers will only ever do 1 damage.
I think the Storm Eagle is, for some random reason.
Well, stable.
Yeah, I think it is. But this is a different video.
Perfect.
We'll double check that later.
Yeah,
but I think all flyers should be stable. Like, all of them.
They should.
Like,
yeah.
It just flyers... I love the idea. I love the idea of the missions. I love the way that they've executed them. For a 4-turn game, if they're the way that they are right now, they need to be way less points because they kept the points from last edition. They're just on the table so little. They kept their huge high points, which I think they earned the last 2 editions. But this edition, they're just too many points. So the problem is that this is primarily a transport. It's so high pointed because it has so many cool guns. It can't use those guns.
Yeah.
It might, if you're lucky, if it comes in turn 2 or turn 1, drops off its guys, then flies back on turn 2. And remember, it gets harder every time to get these flyers to come back in.
Yeah.
They have to roll +1 on their roll. If it comes in turn 2, you'll be lucky to get 2 or 3 shots off with this thing if you get really lucky.
Yep.
Probably 2, but more like 1 as it comes in and does its combat mission. And this is if you make every single roll. So you're paying 290 points for that. I mean, you could just take a Land Raider. I don't again, I think it's usable. I give it a C-. That's my grade for this thing.
It's perhaps a little bit more survivable against Interceptor as well, being front 14. Yeah. I guess there's that, but yeah, they're in a weird position, aren't they? I want like bombing runs. I want like heavy payloads coming in from flyers and then they buzz off. Yeah, I don't want them to like just do next to nothing or drop a unit off and then that's kind of it. Not at 290 points anyway. I want them to actually do something at the same time.
This is why I go back to the Dreadclaw being the best flyer in the game.
Well, the Arvis is, I know it's not a Legion one, but it's 75 points and it does everything we just said for 75 points or whatever it is. So what's
the capacity on it?
The Arvis, I think 10 or 12, I think, something like that.
Okay.
But it drops a troop squad off and it does it cheap, which is basically why we're saying the Dreadclaw is, you're right entirely. The Dreadclaw is cheap enough that it doesn't matter. I want bombing runs. I want I want to feel that I'm going to lose a vehicle from one blast of a Xiphon, right, or something. I want it to be like, Jesus, that's just wrecked that, and then it's going to come in again on just a 4-up next turn. And it's going to, and you have to deal with it. They don't feel like that at the moment. So that needs tweaking, I think. If anyone is at all listening to this who is in a position to address that. Let us know your thoughts though on the transports in particular, but and also flyer transports, flyer heavy transports as well. That is pretty much that. What's your takeaway, Jay? What's your favourite out of all of
My favorite are my kind of my three favorites. If you want to list them, my top three are in order: Land Raider, Spartan, and then Dreadclaw. I think all of those are good. I think they're all usable. I think they all have their place. I think the rest of them, it really depends on your army.
Yeah.
The Spartan, I think if you're going to use that boy, you need to put something in there that's worth taking 400 points for something that dies as fast as the Land Raider, in my experience. But yeah, overall, I think heavy transports are pretty good. I think flyers need a bit of an overhaul, and that's my takeaway.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let us know what you think. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.